Being able to join text together and parse data apart are important skills for a data analyst. We are continuing our Spreadsheet Fundamentals series by looking at concatenate and left, mid, right functions today on ArtScience. Hey there, I'm Kevin Hartman, Associate Professor at the University of Notre Dame and founder of the Art+Science Analytics Institute, where our mission is to make you a better analyst. We're continuing our Spreadsheet Fundamentals series by looking at concatenate and left, mid, right functions today. Those are really important and powerful functions that allow us to join text together as well as then parse text apart in our spreadsheets. The functions that we'll be looking at today are concatenate and then an alternative to concatenate using the ampersand. We'll also look at left, mid, and right functions in today's exercise. For this video, just like every other video in the series, there's a step-by-step guide linked in the description below so that you can follow along with the work that we're doing in the video or practice afterwards. Also, we'll be demoing in Google Sheets, although all of these functions work the exact same way in Excel. Let's get into the spreadsheet. So here I am in my spreadsheet. It's the same data that we've been using for this entire Spreadsheet Fundamentals series, a transaction log for a school that teaches online classes, live classes, and then classes that are a blend of both. I've got my customer ID, which is a unique ID for each customer, an order ID. I've got my date in 3 columns, month, day, year, and today is finally the day that we get to fix that. I've been staring at that column in each of the other videos. It's been driving me crazy. So the data continues on with spend for each class and then the class type, which we've been cleaning up along the way. So what I'm going to do is fix the date, which is in 3 columns, combine that into a single column that we'll call date. I want to format it in a certain way. I want to include a trailing or leading zero, a leading zero for the day and the month, so that single digit days and month look like double digit. And then I want to create a period, which is the combination of the year, a dash, a hyphen, and then the month with that leading zero. So to start, I'm just going to create a column here, insert one to the left, call this column date. Now here's where the concatenate formula comes in. I trigger that with an equals and then type concat. Now there is a concat function which just allows me to combine 2. I want to combine more than 2. In fact, I want to combine quite a few and introduce some characters as well. So I'm going to use a concatenate, which allows me to add as many strings of text that I would like. So concatenate is going to allow me to combine these. I'm going to begin with the year, a comma to set to the next string, the month, a comma, and the day. Now that is going to look, I'm not going to autofill because this isn't exactly what I want. It's going to look just like a jumble of numbers. So what I want to do is introduce hyphens in between the year and month and a hyphen in between the month and the day. I can do that in this concatenate formula very easily. Starting over, concatenate, again grabbing the year, comma. Now instead of grabbing the next column of data, I'm going to introduce a hyphen with the quotation mark to set off text, hyphen, close quotation mark, another comma, go get the month, comma, quotation mark, hyphen, quotation mark, comma, day, and there, that's a lot better. Now it's not still in the format that I want, but at least now I can tell the difference between the days and the months from the year. Now, there's another formula that I could use as well using the ampersand to accomplish the same thing. Let me just show you that. So by saying year column, and then pro tip, I usually add a space, ampersand, space, add my hyphen, space, ampersand, space. I add that space between the ampersands just to give it a little more, the formula a little more space so it doesn't look so jumbled. Grab the month, space, hyphen, ampersand, space. Grab the year or day to close that out. I get the same result. So either of those formulas, either the concatenate formula that grabs the columns of text or columns of data and then adds the hyphens in between, or an ampersand, which gets the same thing done, will accomplish this for me. Two ways to accomplish the same idea. So I'm going to copy this formula all the way down. Now, these data are not in the format that I want. I want to get that leading 0 into the month and day so that it looks a little more consistent and I can sort these in an easier way. Now, we learned in an earlier video that what I've really got in these cells, though, is an underlying formula that's presenting the data. I can't just format these as they are. The first thing that I need to do is copy and paste the values alone. Just replace these formulas with the values that they present. So I highlight the entire column. I go under Edit. I say Copy. I then go back under Edit, Paste Special, Values Only. Now I've replaced all of those formulas with the actual values. Now I can do some formatting. So to format this, select it all. I'm going to go under the Format, Number. What I'm going to do is go all the way down here to Custom, Date, and Time. It's going to give me a default, which might not be what I'm looking for. If it isn't, I just have to clear that out. But here, what I've got is the year, a dash. I've got the month with a trailing or leading 0 that I want. I've got the dash. I've got the day with the leading 0 like I want. So I'm going to apply this, and boom, there we go. Now my text is formatted in the appropriate way, the way that I want it, with that leading 0 on the month and the day. So I am done with the concatenation, bringing these texts together and getting them into the format that I want. Next thing to do is to pull this text back apart to create a period in the format that I'd like. So to create a period value from this date column, the first thing I'm going to do is introduce another column. I'm going to call this period. Now, what I want to do is parse out some of the text from the date. This is where that left, mid, and right set of commands comes in. Left will grab data from the left side and go along to the number of columns or number of characters that I specify. Mid will grab it from somewhere in the middle. Right will start at the other end and go in. So just to demonstrate, if I say right, and then it's going to ask for the string that I want to pull from, let's say date, comma, and then the number of characters, let's just pull the first 5, shall we? So what that's going to do is start from, and I'm not going to autofill because this is what I ultimately want to do, but just to show you in that column, or in that cell, it started at the far right, counted the first 5 first 5 values and pulled that in. If I wanted to create a period that was day and month, that's how I do it. Mid, I can grab something from the middle. If I say mid, what this is going to do is still ask for the string. It's going to ask for when I want to start. So let me say, let's get the last 2 digits of the year and then the last 2 digits of the month. So I will be starting at the 3rd character. The length that I'm going to grab from that 3rd character is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters. And that's going to give me 2301, starting from that 3rd character and grabbing the next 5. But what I really want to do here to create this period is use the left command for that date. And all I'm going to do is grab the first 5, 6, 7 characters. And that's going to give me the period just like I'd like. Go ahead and copy that down. And now I have a date that I've joined together from 3 separate columns. I then take that date in the format that I wanted and produced a period, which is the year and month. So now I can aggregate this data on a year and month, report in that way, do cohort analysis in that way. There's a number of things that I can do once I've established this period. All through concatenation, bringing text together, and then using left, right, mid, in this case left, to parse data apart. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, take a moment and subscribe to this channel, like this video, and forward it on to anyone who you think is interested in data analytics. Every single week we are bringing new, exciting, and important videos on data analytics. Would love to have you there for the journey. Look for the next video in this Spreadsheet Fundamentals series, where we'll be talking about lookup functions, some of my favorite and most important functions in spreadsheets. Until then, we'll see you in the next video.